Hey friends, it's Christy. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making a card using a whole bunch of Lawn Fawn sets. I'm using Wild For You, Critters in the Jungle, Critters from the Past, A Bug Deal, Bannertastic, and Hello Baby. So I've stamped out the images I'll be using on Neenah Solar White cardstock with Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and I'm going to be coloring with my Copic markers. I'm starting with my lion, and I'm using R20, R21, and R23 for this little guy. I'm beginning with the R23 and laying in some shadow right around his face and then under his mane, also where his front legs are kind of overlapping the back ones, and a little bit on the tops of his paws and his tail as well. And then I'm going to begin to pull that color out with the YR21. So that is my mid-tone. And I'm just grabbing the edge of that YR23 and pulling it into the white space. I'm going to fill in the back two legs and his tail. And then I'll use the YR20 for the highlight on the rest of him. So I'm just kind of scrubbing in little circular motions to get that color broken up on the edges and get a nice smooth blend. For his mane, I'm going to use E43, E44, and E47. And I'm going to put the darkest, that E47, right around the edge of his face. I wanted it to be darker as it's, growing close to his body, and then get lighter as it gets towards the edges. So then I'll grab the E44 and begin to blend that out, just doing little flicking motions. And I'm also going to color in the tip of his tail with these three shades. So again, I'm just softening up those colors, trying to get that marker pigment broken up so that it blends nicely, and pulling into the white space. I'm trying to keep everything nice and soft today since it is a baby card, and I wanted it to be, I don't know, I just wanted it to kind of remind you of maybe like a baby blanket or a nice soft onesie or something like that. I just wanted a really smooth blend today, to kind of just go with that soft, cozy feel. And this card today is actually for the owners of Lawn Fawn, Kelly Marie and Mike, who are expecting their first little baby, a baby boy, any day now. So this card will be going out to them as soon as their little guy arrives. I'm using W3 to color in the lion's nose, and then I used a little RV11 to give him some rosy cheeks. I'm going to be doing some unusual color combos today on the leaves. Like I said, since this is a baby card, I just wanted to use a lot of blue tones since it's for a little boy. And so I am actually not going to be using any greens. I'm going to use some blue greens and just some blues. So I'm starting with the BG72, BG75, and BG78 for these little grasses, and just putting the darkest shadow in the area that is curved away from the light, and then the highlight obviously is curved toward the light. And I just colored the second one off screen. I'll be doing that for all of my little leaf combinations just to save time, since I'm doing pretty much the same thing on each one that I have stamped, two of each kind of design. So the next combination I'm using is B93, B95, and B97. So I have a 4-color blend for this one, but I just wanted a nice smooth transition, like I said, and so that's going to help me get really dark at the bottom and then stay nice and light at the tip. So I just started with that B99 toward the base and then blended upward through the rest of the colors, and also put a line of that B99 right on the center to just give that line that's already drawn there by the artist a little more definition. And I did do a second layer on this leaf because, like I said, I just want everything to be really nice and smooth. So I'll just finish up the tip of this leaf with the highlight, the B93, And then I'm going to move on to B41, B52, and B45. So even though the number of the B52 is higher, that's actually going to be my mid-tone for today. I really like this combination. These markers are new to me, but I have been playing with them and I like the way these three colors combine in this order. So I use the B45 at the bottom, then blend it up with the B52, and then finished with the B41. For my next combo, I wanted something similar to the grasses in tone, but I didn't want it to be quite as dark. So I took away the darkest shade and added in the BG70 for my highlight. So I'm using the BG70, BG72, and BG75. And again, I did do a second layer to help with the blend. And then I used the C1 and C3 for our little crown for the lion prince. So he has a little silver crown. He's not the king, he's the prince, so I thought silver would be appropriate. And then for the banner, I'm using B quadruple 0, B00, and B01. Putting the B01 on the outside edge of that banner, and then I'm also going to do the areas where it's kind of folded back on itself, because that would be darker there as well. And then as it starts to bend, that fabric, you know, it's going to get lighter, it's going to hit more light. And so I'm going to use that B00 to blend out the B01 and then fill in the rest of that area that I really want to be highlighted with the B quadruple 0. And once I finish the coloring, I will trim these out with the matching dies. For my focal panel, I'm taking the stitch scalloped rectangle frames, and I'm going to set aside the outside frame for now and just work on the inner portion. And this is just plain old Nina. So I'm going to blend on a little bit of Zig Clean Color Real Brush Pen to do a really quick and easy background. The color I'm using is 092 Blue Gray, and I've just watered that down a bit. Normally I wouldn't recommend using Nina for this because the color doesn't really move around a lot on that. I prefer the Bristol, but I really wanted the nice bright white background, and I knew that most of this was going to get covered up anyway, so I didn't mind the fact that it didn't blend out that well. So I waited for that to dry and then popped it in my MISTI, and now I'm stamping out the word hello from Hello Baby. Then I'm going to grab my card base and pop that in my MISTI as well. I'm using Moonstone cardstock, and I'm using a sentiment from Rub-a-Dub-Dub and the Baby Rattle from Hello Baby, and I'm stamping all of that in Lawn Fawn's Blue Jay ink. The pattern paper I'm using is from the Gotta Have Gingham collection. I thought this blue gingham just fit perfectly for a baby card. So I trimmed that out using the outside in stitch rectangle stackables, so it just gave me that nice border of the Moonstone cardstock showing through on the edges. I glued that straight down to the card base, and then I'm going to put the frame in place. I'm not adhering it, but I just want it in place so that I can pop the inside section of that focal panel down and have that perfectly aligned. Then I'm going to peel off that frame, and I'm going to add some thin strips of foam tape to the back of that so that I can pop that up and give that piece a little bit of added dimension. So I'm just lining that up carefully around that focal panel, and then once I have it nice and straight, I'll pop it down into place firmly, and then I can begin to add my images. So I've added foam tape to the backs of most of these so that I can also have that dimension and really create a nice popped up scene. I'm starting with the banner down at the bottom because I want everything to kind of build up from that. And then I'm going to take the two little grasses and just tuck the very edge of them right underneath that banner. And once I have those in place, I can grab my little lion prince, and I'm going to put him right in the center between those two grasses. I just love this guy. I think he's so cute. So once I have him in place, I can start to add my leaves. And for those, I'm going to be using a combination of foam tape and liquid glue. I have foam tape at the tips to kind of give them some lift there, but I also want them to be able to tuck behind the images, the grasses, and the little lion. So I'm using regular liquid glue so that they're nice and flat in that area. So I'm just going to continue to build those, adding the different colors and the different styles of leaves on both sides and kind of mixing it up a bit so that it has like a nice variety and it's not too matchy. I'm still using 3 of each on each side, but I just didn't want them all to be in the exact same order to break it up just a bit. So I tucked the blue-green leaf in between the 2 bluer leaves on the right, and then on the left-hand side, I decided to add it a little bit more towards the top, kind of pointing up at the word hello to kind of integrate that more into the scene. And then I took the Spring Showers dies, the 2 clouds, the 2 smaller clouds from that die set, and I'm going to add those into my scene as well. And I did also decide that I needed another pop of that light blue that's on the banner, because I had like 2 of each color leaf and 2 of the grasses. And so I decided to stamp and color a tiny butterfly, and I'm going to add that overlapping the clouds just to pull that light blue shade up a little bit higher, and also just add a nice pop of color up there because I just felt like something was missing. And then finally I'll add the little crown to our little prince. So I debated about whether or not to add glitter to the card since it is more of a masculine card, but I just couldn't resist. I thought a crown needs some sparkle. So I grabbed a little Stardust Stickles and I added a bit of that to the crown. And then I also decided to add it to the little lion's nose and the butterfly wings. And then I dotted a little bit on the darkest leaves as well, just to kind of lighten them up a bit. I thought maybe it could be like dewdrops or, you know, some rainfall or something. So just added a tiny bit of sparkle there. And then I made myself stop because I didn't want to get too carried away. And that is going to complete my card for today. I really hope that Kelly Marie and Mike are going to like it. And I'm super excited about the new Lawn Fawn baby. So yeah, congratulations to them. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I post new videos every Monday and also occasionally on Friday. And you can also ring the notification bell to make sure that my videos always end up in your feed. And if you'd like to keep watching, here are 2 extra videos I thought you might also be interested in. You can click on either one of those to check them out. I hope you all have an absolutely amazing day. Bye-bye.